walking down Highway 37, and a truck driver just stopped to give us a ride the rest of the way. It's Wednesday, July 8th, and we are camped just above Lake Kukanusa. That's a marriage of three different words into one to define one lake.
Had a pretty easy day today.
Like the easiest.
The easiest 18 miles we've ever done. And when we walked through Eureka, I stopped and got some ice cream. And then got some trail magic. Some weird old guy gave me the worst cookies I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when a hiker rejects cookies.
But you know, it was a nice gesture, and it was a free bag, Ziploc bag. I needed a Ziploc bag, so
can't have enough Ziplocs.
Another older Vietnam War veteran,
30-year
veteran, gave us a ride to
Rexford, so that we could eat fried chicken at the Frontier Bar, and that was by far the best food I've eaten in Eureka area.
Yeah,
highly recommend. It's worth going off trail for.
Yeah.
Then we met up with some of the other hikers.
Yep. Hung out with them while they ate, and then we hit the road. And while we were walking to this lake, this guy from California,
who is extremely enthusiastic about PNT hikers,
he parked his big truck up probably like a quarter mile down the road and like
then walked
towards us to like offer us a ride. So we had to accept his ride because he was so eager to give it to us.
And we had a terrible expedition to some water over at Boulder Creek. Yeah. I would heed the warnings and gut hooks to get water at the...
Yeah, but the warnings are a little exaggerated. It wasn't really as bad as...
It was super steep. I beg to differ. And now we're here.
We walked the point 2 to this campsite. And yeah, other hikers are trickling in.
was a long climb. Kind of reminiscent of the Appalachian Trail. Yeah. But look at where we are. The 100-mile mark. Gonna show us how it's done. A couple of trees blown down. It's like an acrobat. We had a pretty sweet campsite last night, about 0.2 up from the trailhead, and we got to share camp with CB, Second Thoughts, and Backtrack this morning because after checking out the elevation profile, we had a climb comparable to the Appalachian Trail. So
Yeah, possibly longer than on the Appalachian Trail, but like technically not quite as difficult.
yeah, it wasn't hard. It was just very, very long.
The 100-mile mark for the hike, if you subtract the 50 miles we missed in Glacier. So that was pretty cool. There was a nice tower on top of Mount Webb. And yeah, now we're just kind of on these rolling hills up on the ridgeline for probably the rest of the day until we climb to the top of that mountain?
Mount Henry or Henry Mountain.
Yeah.
Henry something.
And so there's rumors that there's a shelter or like lookout tower that's open up there, which we might camp at for the most part. Trail's in really good shape here.
Yeah, and also I just want to say, so like just about every known PNT hiker is out with us right now.
But yeah, we're gonna keep on walking to the Mount Henry, and maybe we'll check in on the way there.
Hey everyone! So, I used to joke when I was on the AT that one of the only things Florida did to help me prepare for trail was expose me to humidity and bugs. But, I am not feeling very prepared with the bug level that I have been experiencing today.
I mean, I knew it was a wet spring here in Montana, but man, we dropped elevation. It's just been non-stop bugs for the last
several miles, pretty much all day. It just seems like they're getting worse.
Yeah, we even like finally climbed out of this like kind of swampy, marshy meadow area. What was it, Gypsy Meadow?
Yeah.
And that was where they got the worst. But I don't know, like we climbed up and I expected the bugs to peter out a little bit, and they still haven't. So we're still planning to, I think it's about 4 more miles to Mount Henry Lookout. We're hoping we can get there because it looks...
Hopefully no bugs.
Yeah, it looks like it's a high enough elevation that the bugs should peter out, or we can at least be in an enclosed space and escape these bugs. Just after 5 now, so hopefully we get there by 7. Been a hell of a climb up here, but we've made it to the top of Mount Henry. That lookout tower I hope is open, because I'm tired of walking. Tetra is yelling as I stopped to set up the camera. My blood sugar is kind of low, so I'm really looking forward to dinner. I'm really looking forward to getting this wind off of me. Mount Henry Tower.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Yeah, actually, so interesting story. We woke up yesterday morning with the intention of hiking here because we once again heard that you could sleep in the lookout on top of this mountain, Mount Henry. And when we got here, Backtrack was here. And Gasket, Not Another Chance, and Click, and CB also ended up hiking up here. So
we had 7 PNT hikers.
All squeezed
crammed into this little cabin, little lookout cabin.
Yeah.
We only have it's 13 miles to the road that we hitch into Yaak. Hopefully we can get a hitch, because otherwise that'll turn into a 20-mile day.
Total whiteout right now. We are in a cloud.
You can barely see the ground outside of this lookout. And the rain chances are supposed to drop over the next hour or so. So
worth waiting. Yesterday, we, I think, had an elevation gain and loss. And so I think we gained overall 7,000 feet. And lost 6,000 feet, but it was true AT style, where it was up, down, up, down, up, down.
A couple puds thrown in there.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And then couple that with being pretty much eaten alive by mosquitoes. So
I highly recommend bug spray.
Yeah, definitely a good idea. I didn't pack bug spray, but I'm glad Retune did.
Yeah.
So now we're off to the Yaak.
Yeah, off to the Yaak.
Ugly spill. We're hiking down from Mount Henry, and I stepped on a wet branch, a wet root, and lost my footing. In a last-ditch effort to not fall forwards, like fall on my face or hit my head, I kind of twisted my leg underneath myself so I would fall on my side. And as a result, my left knee landed right on the point of a rock. I thought my knee shattered. I was in so much pain. I just collapsed to the ground and I couldn't stop crying. And I think that this isn't really talked a lot about on long distance hikes, like the real level of discomfort. You know, or if you're a little bit klutzy, I guess, like me, what happens when you lose your footing and the things that can happen with your falls.
Everyone falls on a long distance trail.
Yeah.
At least once, probably daily, I almost fall.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, when you're out here so far away from help,
It's kind of scary.
it can end your whole hike.
Yeah.
It's also scary.
That is also scary. I'm glad that it turns out to be okay. Here, I'll have Retune show you the damage to the knee. That's not too bad, but the pain I felt at the time that I thought I cracked my
About 3 or 4 miles from the road down to Yaak. It's pretty uncertain whether or not we have to walk the 7 miles down the road. It's been a beautiful day. We stopped at Turner Creek Falls. Haven't really seen any waterfalls on this trip. Then out of the Turner Creek, we had a pretty long climb, but it was relatively gentle. Lots and lots of wildflowers the entire time. And I picked some and they are in my hat. It's July 10th, which is fairly insignificant to most people. A year ago today, I started my southbound thru-hike of the Appalachian Trail. Summited Katahdin a year ago today. And here I am. I woke up at the top of Henry Peak with 6 other PNT Thru-hikers. It's beautiful. We just dropped into like some really mossy woods. Kind of reminds me of the Smokies.
It's 4:15 and we have like 9 miles to Yaak. There better still be cheeseburgers. I'm struggling. The trail has been beautiful today between flowers and we walked through like a pine forest. And I think as Retune said before, they kind of remind me of the Smokies. But I'm struggling. I'm hurting, so my head hasn't been as much in the game, and I'm really looking forward to a reprieve here in Yaak